What's up, Home Slices? It's Kiara with Home Slice Adulting, and I'm coming to you from the car again, multitasking. I'm on my way to a doctor's appointment because about 2 weeks ago I fractured my left ankle while walking my dog. So I'm on my way to that appointment, and I figured I'd kill two birds with one stone since this review is a little late anyway. So let's get started with my review for the fourth episode of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, season 4. I think that's right. Anyways, I guess we'll start off by talking about Brooke Valentine and her weird triangle that's going on between Marcus, Boobie, and herself. So we see Brooke Valentine talking to Boobie, and they are childhood friends from back in Houston, and he's showing her some of the music she's done, and she's telling him about her troubles with Marcus, and it's clear that they have something for each other, and they have feelings for each other, being childhood friends and whatever, but I feel like even they aren't on the same wavelength. I mean, Brooke says that out of respect for Keyshia Cole, she's not going to do anything with Boobie since they're like technically still married. But Boobie was more along the lines of like, I could have Brooke if I wanted her. But anyways, they did, I don't even know what to call it. He, was showing her some of her music, and she was like helping him out on it, and it was cool, and the beat was like very Houston. It was very Houston sounding, and their chemistry is a little weird. And then we see Marcus trying to impress or trying to apologize to Brooke, and he takes her to this house that isn't his. He says the house belongs to a friend of his, and it's like, I always am suspicious of dudes that get their friend's house to do special occasions and stuff like that. It's like something's off. But anyway, Brooke is not having it. I don't know if her talk with Boobie really convinced her that she doesn't need Marcus, or if she is, playing a game with Marcus to see how long he's going to try to fight for their relationship. I don't know. But I think Brooke should just like ignore him. She was really like dramatic, like soap opera. Like it was a soap opera, yeah. And she was like, well, if I was wearing any panties, I wouldn't take them off for you. So that's weird. I feel like that was like super dramatic or whatever. And so later we see Marcus talking to A1s and Solo Lucci. There we go. And so they're playing pool, and he's telling them everything that just happened. I think this was the same night. And so A1, actually was making a little sense when he told Marcus, if you look at it from Brooke's point of view, you're the person who's playing games, not her. You're the one who, made her think it was only her, and then you're sleeping with the paralegal on the side. And so, Marcus could admit that A1 was probably right about that. But, yeah. A1 started talking about how he was having issues with his wife Lyrica, saying that he couldn't sign any new female artists, but that he had an opportunity to work with Keyshia Cole. And Solo Lucci, I don't know why anyone would take advice from him, from a dude who's, half of his face is blonde. Basically, you can't understand what the man is saying. But anyways, he's like, well, you can't allow her to dictate blah, 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 blah. Now, if they are husband and wife, and if they are business partners as well, she does have a say in what he does in his business life. And even though the decision may not be the best financially to stop him from signing other female artists, if he would just go ahead and finish her project, she wouldn't have no problem with him signing nobody else. But she just wants to make sure that her project is a priority and doesn't get put on the back burner because of some new chick. But A1 doesn't seem to realize or understand that, and it's starting to come off like Lyrica is trying to dictate his, business moves. So anyway, Solo Lucci is talking about his problems, but not really. Like, none of the words he was saying was making sense, and Marcus was looking at him like, what? Like, I guess this is how mumble rappers actually talk, mumbly. But anyways, A1 had to break it down for Marcus and say basically his new girl is Alexis Sky, and his baby mama is a thug, and nobody is safe from his baby mama and all that kind of stuff. And so later on, earlier, we see Alexis Sky talking to Solo Lucci saying that the pregnancy test came back negative and that she is not with child, thank goodness. And so he asked how she felt about it, and she was like, I want a family the, traditional way, marriage and then kids. And they had a okay talk at a strip club or whatever, and they drank together. But later on, we see that Nikki Baby, again, who was sprinkled on someone else's storyline, Nikki Baby Nikki Baby recruits Alexis Sky to be a model for her underwear line or lingerie line, whatever it is. And what I will say is Nikki Baby's face looks very good. Like, I know it's had a lot of work done. I mean, the rest of her body, not so much, but her face is like really pretty. So good job on that. But anyways, so they're modeling or whatever, and in walks Solo Lucci's baby mama, whose name is Sarah, not really sure, but she's a pretty woman, and she is pretty mad because she feels like Alexis Sky, wedged her way in between her and her baby daddy, Solo Lucci. And somebody mentioned this in their reviews. One of the other YouTubers that I watch mentioned that Solo Lucci's baby mama is doing the same thing that Alexis Sky is doing to Masika, seeking revenge for, what you think is somebody wedging their way into your relationship. So, Alexis Sky, while she deserves this, the baby mama was on too much stuff, and I actually believe that Alexis Sky honestly had no intention of getting with Solo Lucci while he was in a relationship, and that if Solo Lucci was in a relationship with his baby mama, that Alexis Sky honestly didn't know. But anyways, enough with those folks. Moving on, we'll talk about the incident with Tierra Marie. So Moniece and Nia get Cisco, there we go. Moniece and Nia meet with Cisco, and they apologize for how things went down at the dinner on the last episode, and they're really trying to get Cisco to understand that Tierra Marie is an alcoholic, and they tell him that in no uncertain terms. Now, Cisco says that there's something about LA that is bringing out this need to drink in Tierra, and so he wanted to have a talk with her before her friends did, an intervention, basically is what it sounded like to me. So he goes to talk to her, and Tierra Marie and Cisco actually seem like they really care about each other, because they're talking, and Cisco was like, well, you can tell me about your problems, and Tierra Marie is like, I'll just tell them to a bottle, I don't have to speak on my feelings. I'm uncertain about my life, I'm uncertain about my career. And it's like that sometimes when you get depressed about where you are in life, when your life is not where you think it should be at this point in time. So he understood, because apparently he's been to rehab for both prescription pills and alcoholism. And so now somewhere along the lines, a switch flipped, and instead of Cisco being on the same team as her friends, it kind of seemed like he was trying to pit Tierra against her friends, because he started saying that Moniece and Nia, and I guess Tierra's cousin, Zell Swag or whatever, that they were only about talking and they weren't about action. And so I don't know, it was weird. It was like kind of a manipulative move is what it felt like, to get Tiara to, you know, stop dealing with her friends and deal with somebody who's actually trying to help her. I hope that makes sense. It was very weird to me. I felt like he should have been on the same page with her friends, since they know about the problem a little bit better than he does, and they know her better than he does. But I mean, you know, when you're a manipulative person, that's what you do. And so anyways, he took her to get some type of detox or whatever, and he asked the lady, will this stop her, or, you know, decrease her urge to drink? Now, I don't recall the lady saying yes. What she said was, it's good for hangovers. Which to me means, oh, she can still drink and do this. Which is not the right answer. I mean, a Medi spa is not the same as getting help for, you know, the things that are going on in your mind that are causing you to feel like you need to drink. She needs counseling and not just treating the symptoms. But whatever. So that's gonna fall apart. I know that's gonna fall apart real quick. But anyways, lastly, or is this lastly, we'll talk about Masika, Zellswag, and Mr. Ray. Now, we see Zellswag meeting up with Keisha Cole. Okay, and before we talk about that, we see Keisha Cole is having a meeting with A1 regarding the type of music that he wants to do with her. And he basically said, you know, I found a loophole in, you know, what Lyrica said about not signing any new artists, and I can actually, you know, work with female artists, right? So he has the meeting. And he talks about the things he can do. They can experiment. She's almost done with her album. He likes what he's heard so far. And he said something along the lines of, you know, the stuff that I do is kind of mumbly, but that's what's hot right now. And I'm like, like, I hate the mumble rap. It makes no sense, and it allows people who probably really aren't that talented to get on. So that's very, very annoying to me. But whatever. So yeah, later on we see Keisha Cole and Zellswag, and apparently he is a stylist. I am a little bit under the impression that Zellswag and Keisha Cole were not linked up before the show, but we'll see. I don't know. Anyways, so apparently she's one of his celebrity clients, and he's putting together a look for a listening party that she has, and he tells her about the incident that happened with Masika, and Masika calling him the B word, and them falling out over Alexis Scott. And so Keisha Cole, being the mature one, is trying to get him to go in the right direction, and be like, you know, are you going to show up to the party? What's going on? And he's like, well, you know, I'm going to, you know, hop on this olive branch and, you know, go to this party. So later on, we see Mr. Ray, who I don't know if we would consider him a blogger or whatever. I have heard of Mr. Ray before because he does some of the like reality reviews for WeTV. And so if y'all ever go to like any of these networks, VH1 or WeTV or Oxygen, if you ever go to their websites, you know how they have little bonus videos for the shows that they do. And Mr. Ray used to do a review for Braxton Family Values, so that's the only place that I've seen him before. But anyways, Mr. Ray is an event planner who's helping Masika put together her lip gloss events, makeup, whatever. And so we see that we see that Mr. Ray and Zellswag have an issue, and nobody really knows why, apparently. Zellswag, according to Mr. Ray, Zellswag just didn't like Mr. Ray, and it wasn't for any reason. And so Mr. Ray has some tea, apparently, on Zellswag, and he's like, I'll take care of Zellswag if he shows up, so let's invite him. So the whole reason that he was invited was because of Mr. Ray inviting him and low-key trying to be messy. So later on, we're at this event, and we see later on we're at this event, and Zellswag shows up, and instead of Masika really extending the olive branch to Zellswag, she basically takes Moniece and says, this is my real friend, and now not real friends can stay over here. And so Zellswag feels like, you know, you were going to invite me and ignore me. And so, you know, at this point in time, Zellswag doesn't know that he was invited by Mr. Ray. And, you know, Masika apparently wasn't ready to really extend that olive branch to him. And so now he's mad. So typically what you would do if somebody did that to you at a party, you would leave. You don't grace somebody with your presence when you're clearly not welcome. He went there, he showed his face, he showed his support, and he should leave. But instead, he became childish, and he got on the table where all the merchandise was, and he was pretending to go to sleep and asking for a pillow. And then next thing you know, he and Mr. Ray are yelling back and forth at each other. Mr. Ray accuses him of stealing clothing by, I guess, getting clothing from designers or suppliers or whatever, claiming that he's going to get them for, he said, Keisha Cole or for his boss, and not returning them. So it's they go back and forth, and you know, there's fat jokes and all this kind of stuff, and next thing you know, we see drinks are flying. And so unfortunately things have unfolded in this manner, and everybody is more mad at Mr. Ray than they are at Zellswag. And I'm low-key trying to figure out why, because Zellswag was the person who was being immature. I guess when you know somebody for so long, you figure out how they are, and when you are friends with somebody, you accept that person for who they are, but that doesn't mean that everybody else is going to be as tolerant of their BS. And so I'm low-key not really understanding why they felt Zellswag was not more responsible for the way things unfolded, because Mr. Ray was unprofessional. He should have kept his cool. Mr. Ray was trying to be messy, and that's why he invited Zellswag in the first place. But I do think Zellswag was inappropriate at his friend's event, where he could have just left and all of this issue could have been prevented or whatever. And so the whole thing was ruined, and it looks like it's never really going to be resolved, looking at what's happening next. Now, hopefully I didn't forget anything, but thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought in the comment box below, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out, home slices. And I would do the peace sign if I wasn't driving.